Hello, hello, hello. Hello, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I am your meteorologist for the evening, Cloud Hudson. And I will be bringing you all that I know of today's top weather stories. Let's get started here. First of all, can everybody see and hear me properly? I hope my stream connection is good. My internet speed is medium okay. So we'll hope that works. I mean, I don't understand why my video is so laggy sometimes, but maybe if I get a LAN connection down here, that would make it better. But yeah, anyways, y'all, welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. It's the full moon. Happy full moon, everybody. We did it. We made it. We made it to another full moon. So that's beautiful. Let's celebrate that by taking a look at all of our cycles. And I don't mean our period cycles. I mean our our weather, because weather is just a collection of all the cycles that everything goes through. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna start by looking at our volcanic seismic cycles, and the most cyclical one of all is what we're starting with tonight. That is the Actually, I'm going to try something tonight. I'm going to try doing this in a smaller aspect ratio. See if that'll make it a little bit less ad heavy. And also maybe I can still see my, monitor my stream in the, yeah, I can. That'll work. That works. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see y'all, and I can also see okay, yeah, that works a lot better, I think. If I make this... No, it doesn't, because it makes the ads half the page. God dang. That's dumb. Still makes the ads half the page, but it makes it so that it's... I think I actually am going to do it that way. Make the aspect ratio different. Okay. God, I wish I could minimize these ads so bad. Maybe, should I just get an ad blocker? Maybe, but I do want to support these websites by looking at ads for things I will absolutely never be purchasing. Okay. Let's see. We've got update from the Rearcast Peninsula. There is no news other than we have seen approximately 200 earthquakes in the Svartsengi area, which is comparable to what we've seen in the past 2 weeks, with about 40 to 80 earthquakes each day, most of them below magnitude 1. They're mostly located between Stora Skogafell and Hagafell mountains, or south of Mount Thorbjorn. Recent news update reported an increase in microseismic activity over the past few weeks. So the past few weeks, it's been consistently up. So that is also since the end of the last volcano eruption. There's been accumulating magma with nowhere to go. So we are in an inflation phase again in this ebb and flow, inflate and erupt cycle. We got also news out of New Zealand. A new gas and steam emission has started from White Island volcano. That's pretty exciting because we had been seeing an increase in seismic activity in that area. They're calling this White Island, Antarctica. Other places I saw this as listed in New Zealand, but not really sure which it counts as. Unlikely to reach the mainland. Let's see. So, alert for the volcano is at level 3. And then we see, of course, our regular players in Central and South America having their sporadic to consistent emissions. Sakurajima over in Japan continues to erupt. I really wish I could move my face to the other side of the screen. Is there a way to do that? Like, can I do it this way? I think I'm going to do it this way so my head's not on top of the data, but I don't love it. I just wish that my icon could be on the other half of the screen so my face could be over the ads in white space instead of over the information I'm trying to display. Anyway, hello, Wesley. I'm so happy to see you. I'm here on Twitch and YouTube, but it eats my internet connection up if I have either of them open to monitor. Thank goodness Streamlabs shows my Twitch live. Okay, so that's our volcano update. We've got continued inflation, probably a new dike formation or new eruption is due any minute now in Iceland, and there's a new cloud of steam coming out of White Island volcano in New Zealand. Okay, so now let's switch over to Earthquake 3D. And yes, I have to go back to OBS, and I know what OBS is now. I'm a real streamer. All right. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, let's silence our cell phones for the duration of the ride. That would be respectful to the artists and viewers. Oh, well, I don't know where it is. Oh, I do know where it is. Okay. Yes, I do have a flip phone. It is really my phone, and I don't have a different one. This is actually my real life phone, and don't ever expect to get a text back because I don't like to look at it. Pretty much just call me if you need me because I'm not going to look at that thing unless I'm feeling outgoing. Which, you know, even though I grew up thinking I was an extrovert, I'm not that outgoing. I'll do fun things and I'm a risk taker and I love adrenaline, but I'm not that outgoing. Okay. Earthquakes, back to earthquakes. Let's see. Is this going to give me, I want to give a little less. Man, that is a lot. Is this going to give me... Yeah, this is just from today and yesterday. Holy crap. Okay. We have a lot of earthquakes to talk about. Again, we see in the United States, we see this continuation of earthquake lines from the West Coast up to the Northeast by way of butting up against the back of the Appalachian Mountains. I think that's an indication that if we see West Coast earthquakes, I think that's an indication that more momentum is getting through the North American craton than usual. We have to take the quake and ring sizes down to even see what's happening here. Oh, okay. And sometimes it glitches out there. Let's just go back to the right date. Okay. I'm going to turn off some of the lower magnitude quakes so we can just get a glimpse of what's happening here. 2s and 1.5s and over. Looks like a good deal. That I can turn the quake sizes back up on that. Looks like a good deal of quakes are coming in. Of course, we've got our stack over in Western Texas, and our Southern California area is pretty active, but we've also got some central... Here, turn on borders, even though I don't believe in borders. They're fake. Just to see what alleged states we're in. Utah and Montana and Idaho and Washington getting in on the action, as well as the highly fractured, unstable, just real fractal of a state place that is California. Then we zoom out, and the source of all of this is we had a big old 6 the other day out here in the Aleutian Island chain, and even turning off the lower magnitude quakes, we still see a lot of activity here in Alaska, ricocheting in here. The 3.4 looks at 27 kilometers depth, looks like the biggest one. We've also got a 3.0 up at the very, very tippity top. The top of the world, they call it up here in Alaska. Then nice, decent stack of quakes from Hawaii. Looks like we've got a decent depth spread on that one. Then as we come down to, this is where Mount Ebeko is, and if you're ever wondering, and this is where the Shivaluk Peninsula is in Russia, Siberia. We got a string of mid-range 4s making their way from Mount Ebeko down to plumb down to Suwanosejima, all along evenly spaced. You can see how the rings overlap at the center points of the epicenters of each subsequent quake, and they kind of spread this way, actually. So I've got this color coded so that blue is the earliest quake displayed, and red is the latest quake displayed. And then these red and blue spiked pyramid things, those are active volcanoes. Looks like we are getting momentum from the diamond-shaped plate here into the Pacific and Asian plate border subduction zone region, where the Pacific plate is subducting under the Eurasian plate and the Arctic plate. Got a lot of 4s and 5s spreading through the Western Pacific, and some of them looking pretty deep, like this one up here, the 4.2, that's all the way down at 175 kilometers depth, whereas the ones flanking it we got a 135, a 45, and a 32. So the deepest quakes are going up here in the islands between Japan and Russia. Other areas where we're getting deep quakes, of course, the Fiji Islands area. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying there's no surprise that there's an increase in volcanic activity. And I was actually surprised that we didn't see any volcano updates from New Zealand, because look at how swarmed they've been. Just absolutely plastered in quakes, and not even little ones. I have 2 and over turned on right now. This is all at magnitude 2 quakes, so that is a lot of energy getting dispersed into New Zealand. I guess they have figured out in New Zealand how to break up their big quakes into little tiny ones. That's a joke, by the way. You can't do that. As far as larger quakes go, deeper quakes, we look for our deeper quakes out here near the wave-shaped plate boundary and near the Fiji Islands, but we don't have any good deep source quakes going on yet right now. Again, also interesting that we're getting Appalachian earthquakes, and also interesting that we're getting Australian earthquakes right now. That is a lot of activity. Oh yeah, and when you see the volcano things here, the orange indicates that it's in an active eruption phase. Got some activity here in Western China and Kyrgyzstan, all looking to be pretty shallow. Yep, 10 kilometers depth. Again, say it with me. What is going on 10 kilometers below the ground? 4.3, 4.6. I have a feeling that's about how thick the tectonic plates are. And so anything above 10 kilometers is like crustal breakage, and below, I'm just conjecturing that, though. Moving on from the Himalayan mountain chain, we've got southern Iran had a 5.0 at 10 kilometers depth. Right after we had a Indian Ocean 5.5 at 10 kilometers depth. That's notable because we don't often see those. Or it's not like never. This is where it would happen if it happened in the Indian Ocean, but it's a interesting fact to see that. 5.6 also here on the African and Antarctic plate boundary. Let's see. Then, as we move through the Middle East, of course, and into the Mediterranean, we get into the territory of our Crete and Greece fueled, our grease fire of quakes all over Greece, and continued activity in Italy. Now they have Campi Flegrei as not active, but we all know that Campi Flegrei has shown quite a few earthquakes. I got to do some work on my feeds in order to get the Italian earthquakes to show up, but also a 4 and a 4.5 up here at the top of the world. Again, getting a lot more polar quakes right now, which is really interesting. Also, more speaking of polar quakes, more on the Antarctic side, 4.6 and a 5.0 in the South Sandwich Islands region, as well as a 5.0 out here, well south of the East Argentinian Rise. West Argentinian Rise? It's west of Argentina, but speaking of Argentina and Peru, we've got 4s and 5 in around our active volcanoes there, Ubinas, and also up in Central America, Ecuador, we've got this other little swarm of 5s and 3s. Also, Puerto Rico coming in hot. Mexico still not out of the strike zone, not out of the fire zone. They have been getting consistent rumblings of 3s, mid-range 3s to 4s for up to a mid-range 4 of 4.6 at 203 kilometers depth. Let's zoom out and look at, yeah, these are some deep quakes. These are some deep quakes making it into Mexico, and also these ones in Central America or South America are also pretty deep, over 150 kilometers depth. So I'd say this is a pretty active pincushion Earth right now. Oh, sweet. Okay, I'm glad you have Twitch notifications turned on. Thank you. I'm glad to have you here. I'm gonna put this on stream because I like the little volcano emotes. I'm gonna figure out Twitch soon. I'm gonna figure out how to do special emotes and reactions and make my page all fun, but I just haven't. I started to follow a Twitch streamer I actually enjoy, because I don't enjoy many video games. But I started following somebody I actually enjoy, and I'm learning the technical ropes of what Twitch actually is by watching them. Okay. Let's see what's next. From the ground up, we go to the atmosphere. And let's take a look at the weather. So right now so I've got it situated around where I am based out of. We've got this little dry line and low circulation spawning all kinds of convection and storms throughout, mostly spanning through Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina tonight, and looks like that will probably continue to spin out to sea. Probably will take the track of these other trough line dry lines. I'm not sure if they have a distinction on radar Omega or not. I want to go like that. Never mind. Nope, I don't want to go that. Let's see. Down here in Oklahoma, we've got lots of tornado watches, but no warnings right now. I think the worst warning we've got is severe thunderstorm warnings for looking at ping pong ball sized hail, winds up to 60 miles per hour. It looks really nasty here in Sherman, Texas. That's some really high DBZ readings. We've also got, let's see, is this, is my sound right? I think it is. Okay. Here in Lawton, Oklahoma, I've been there before. There's a big little cell, a little supercell. How many oxymorons can I fit into one phrase? You can see what I like to call the rotating Cheeto, where you can see if it was a spiral puffed Cheeto, it would be like rotating that. You can kind of see that DNA double helix thing of the rolling, crashing wave. The shape of the cloud looks like the DNA helix rotating in the plane parallel to the Earth. Got some Cheetos going on out here. And also up here in Nebraska, we've got the nastiest looking line of storms with, let's see, severe thunderstorm warnings, also winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Damage threat considerable, winds up to 70 miles per hour, and tornado possible, severe thunderstorm warned here in just south of Kearney, Nebraska, near Holdridge, Lexington, I guess. Not much in Nebraska that I know of other than cornfields. I know that my friend in high school, her family owned a Applebee's out there. So there's got to be at least one Applebee's. So everyone in that one Applebee's, hunker down, you know? I'm not really sure, you know, folks in the chat, correct me if you know what's in Nebraska. Maybe that house in Nebraska that Ethel Kane is always thinking about is out here, but it is in danger of ping pong ball sized hail. So as we make our way up into the Dakotas, finally they're getting some rain. It's been actually a really dry winter for this region, and it looks like we've got a perfect mid-latitude cyclone setup, and this is usually something you'd expect to sweep through the south into the northeast, but right now we've got our stationary front set up over the northeast, so our really pretty well drawn, I'm going to draw this on. This is the shape of the crashing wave. This is the sound of a heartbeat. This is the shape of the crashing wave. And if you can see, this is like the wave. This is the wave. Imagine being on it. That's like the perfect illustration of what a cyclone's supposed to look like. That nice, tight, an occluded front back here, a stationary front out here, and a cold front dangling down, sweeping up the field mice and bopping them on the head, sweeping up all of the good, juicy, warm, moist air in order to convect and precipitate down. Then it'll cool the rain-cooled air. That's what happens out here. This is the sweeping up that causes convection. Then it goes up over, and the rain-cooled air back behind the cold front will sometimes also cause its own precipitation because the air is colder from the air that's pushing the mass, but also the air that got cooled off by being in a thunderstorm and having the water wrung out of it, that takes its energy, that brings it down to a colder temperature. It falls behind into the cold pool behind the cold front, and that can fog up kind of like a terrarium on the backside, creating its own precipitation that isn't as strong as the frontal boundary, but it is also rain. So places like Winnipeg would be under rainfall warnings because I guess they don't usually get this much rain. I'm gonna say that Canada needs it though, because they have many active wildfires going on right now. We do still have some power outages in Texas from last night's storm system that moved from Waco over to the Arklatex region. That was this storm that is currently sweeping through this area. And it looks like here in, we've actually got a special weather statement for Robbinsville, North Carolina. Looks like we got a nasty little storm coming over the ridge there. That Tennessee, North Carolina border is a ridge. Okay, it's near Lake Santilla. That is near the town of Santilla, Robbinsville, Choa, and Nantahala. That is a actually very energetically powerful spot. It's a place where a natural lake has been dammed in order to harvest the energy for hydro electricity, but it's also inherently a very charged spot when it comes to the power of different geographical features. And I'm going to leave my explanation at that. That is a very important energy spot, is all I'm going to say. We also have some special weather statements out east in Fayetteville. Fayetteville is like a lot of people like to call it. These look like they're also, just wind gusts are going to be pretty bad. I mean, it looks like we're getting some Boeing line segments here, so maybe some straight line winds are occurring. And in fact, since I said that, that brings me to thinking we should take a look at null Earth. Let's take a look at what our winds are doing. Switch to browser again. All right. What was I doing? Oh yeah, null Earth. Let's look at winds. This is where our surface winds are at. So let's march up in the atmosphere to let's say 250 hectopascals. Now, this is not exactly acting as our jet level, but it kind of is. It's approaching the jet stream level. It's between 500 to 250 is where we look for a peak. This is kind of our jet stream analog. At the global wind patterns, the dominant upper air patterns right now, and we can see the tropical jet and the polar jet here merging in the middle of the United States. That is kind of what sets us up for all this severe weather, is when there's imagine bracelets, if you will. The jet streams are different bracelets that the Earth wears, and they are all different sizes, and they go to different latitudes of the Earth, like bracelets taking up different parts of the hand or the arm. Do I have anything I could demonstrate that with? Like a scrunchie or... Nope. No, I have a mask. Okay. Imagine that tropical jet, and this bracelet is